Hey guys, welcome back again to Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. When we last left off, we were basically going through Akihiko Sanada, our old friend from Persona 3. We discovered that through his journey across the globe, trying to find a formidable foe, someone to rival and to practice his strength. But alongside with that, he received a mysterious message from Mitsuru, which everything is getting back together. Akihiko met with Mitsuru and Aigus in Inaba because it seems that Mitsuru wants Akihiko's help from a supposed steel weaponry that happened into the airport. And that is none other than Labris herself. But overall, we've done through Akihiko and we met to yet another to be continued. But with this episode, we'll basically conclude any to be continues there is so far. Now, as I explained for the last episode, the order that I should have done was you, Kanji, and then Akihiko, because each one goes for the to be continued. And obviously, yeah. And apart from that, all my bookmarks are completed, and if I were to, use one, well, basically, I would have to redo the whole story that I've done with them, so, yay! So that's what we're going to be doing now. With Labris' story, we basically can go to each to be continued there is. Most like I think concretely use first, and then the rest of them unlock. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So yeah, let's get into Labris' story, and let's see how how's her origins.
Initial boot successful. Time stamped 4/20/1999. 10/16/39.
The boot process was successful. This happens every time, but I'm never sure what to say to them first.
You mean like a greeting? There's no need for that, they're just machines.
2 humans within visual range, both male, searching for voice print and visual matches. Personnel identified as research staff. Not hostile targets.
Things like that might affect the performance of these models.
Because they have a mind? Their emotions and things are completely faked. It's no different than an AI. It can't possibly be that sensitive.
So I think that's kind of how I can imagine Labris' voice.
Scanning for keywords in conversation. Running logical analysis. Cross-referencing with related data. Current conversation topic is not orders.
Well, until we rule it out completely, we should at least be kind to them.
So you say. All right, from this moment on, you will be registered as candidate unit number 031. Please repeat your number back to me.
All right.
Confirming first order. Initializing unit number. Output via voice requested. Activating voice synthesis module. Accepting input.
Unit number 031.
I'm trying to like mimic her voice. Unit. It's kind of like the dialect of the character. I never done it, and I'm trying to like mimic it as much as I can.
Did its pronunciation sound a little odd to you?
You're worrying too much. Let's hurry up and haul it out.
Receiving auction plan through console. Combat test against others.
Now it sounds even weirder.
Receiving action plan through console. Combat test against others of same unit. Test commencing immediately after entering shock-resistant chamber within the lab. Frame stored within cage for transport. Beginning transport.
so this is the one. I've been waiting to see it in action.
Transport complete. Cage reopened. New human found. Searching for voice print and visual matches. Personnel also identified as research staff. Female. Cutting connection to outside data supply. Connection offline. Commencing cable disconnection.
Now, try getting up.
Order confirmed. Battle chamber. Get up. Initiating motion synchronization engines for for motor functions. Accepting input. Safety limiters active. Balance control gyros functional. Overall movement system functional.
This model's loaded with a nearly pure form of that crystal. I can't wait to see what kind of results it gets.
Crystal.
Unit number 031, can you hear me? Confirm your surroundings. Tell us any abnormalities you're feeling in your sensors or any other functions.
Order confirmed. Beginning simple self-diagnostic. Temperature, humidity, pressure, air composition, lumens, sounds all within normal levels. Visual data within expected color spectrum. All system functional.
The readouts seem fine. Monitoring system is fully operational.
Okay, we're gonna test your performance inside the battle chamber now. When you hear the buzzer, consider everything that moves an enemy and eliminate them.
Order confirmed. Awaiting the signal to begin the test. Exit confirmed to be sealed. Room shape approximately cylindrical. Height approximately 11 meters. Area approximately 154 square meters. High energy light source found on outer wall. Assumed to be fire resistant and bulletproof.
Sorry to do this just after you've woken up, but it'll be good to put you through your paces.
Release of facing hatch detected. Mobile objects intruding into chamber. 7 objects in total. Scanning for visual matches. Analysis non-human. Confirmed as same model units of humanoid weapons. Hostile markers confirmed. Classifying as hostile units. Releasing safety limiters. Combat limiters now set at 70%. Exit confirmed resealed.
So this is how she, how it got her own trauma. Fighting against her own.
Test commencement. Commencement. Test commencement. Signal received.
My controller just disconnected right after that. Wow. Elaborate, you are advanced.
Targets hostile humanoid weapons. Commencing battle.
Are we fighting already? Damn. Or gear mode. That's another her, right? Is she being unstable? Alright.
All targets eliminated. Hostile units no longer capable of motion. Test termination signal received. Battle complete.
That was better than we could have hoped for.
Hey, what's with all the bodies? You made it fight that many on its first time?
Don't worry, it did great. This is a new high score for the first battle results.
Well done, Unit Number 031. Stand by for further instruction.
Order confirmed. Exiting test chamber. Beginning transport to maintenance room.
As he went through similar like I guess.
Resetting safely limiters. Taking seat in maintenance chair.
We're done testing, but there's still one thing left to do today. I'm going to temporarily shut down your optics. Can you close your eyes?
Order confirmed. Shuttering optic inputs. Connecting cables. Online confirmed. Switching a portion of data supply to outside
We're
source.
going to transfer the data from the destroyed units into your memory. Run a diagnostic check while we're doing it and report any malfunctions. Understood?
Order confirmed. Readying self-diagnostic.
So I'm giving her like the same thing I did with Aegis in Persona 3. So the moment she changed her personality, that's when I shift her voice.
Initiating data transfer. Initiating personality module link. Initiating diagnostic of transferred data on sorting procedures. Sector 001 close combat control data. Will investigate improvement of tactical patterns through synthesis and acquisitions of data, dividing into categories for sorting. Sector 002 evasive action control data. Will investigate improvement of tactical patterns through synthesis and acquisition of data, dividing into categories for sorting. Sector 003 non-battle data. Error excluding. Sector 004 non-battle data. Error excluding. Sector 005 battle-related data. What could this be? Momentary disruption of data from visual information stream. A room that is not this place. Outdoor scenery thought to be at night. Scenes of multiple units of the same type gathering outside of the battle chamber. Could these be memories? Visual memories? They are obviously unrelated to the mission. Why have apparently purposeless memories have been preserved this long? 20 to 40% of the informational data extracted from all 7 units are confirmed to be such information. Incomprehensible. What is this?
Anything to report?
Cables disconnected. Time elapsed during data transfer approximately 5 minutes. Reopening optic inputs, calibrating
Alright
servers.
then, unit number 031, give us a simple report of today's battle results.
Order confirmed. Delivering oral report of test results.
This was the first test battle against others of my model. 7 units destroyed. Below 15% damage sustained. Don't seem to be any problems.
Was that...
Unusual expression detected from research staff. Facial recognition library indicates surprise.
Did I say something funny?
Does it have an accent?
Accent? Do you not understand the words coming out of my mouth?
Do you not understand? I don't know how to do that accent. Like, is that type of accent that I like, but I don't know how to do it. Do you not understand the words coming out of my mouth? It's like almost like a New Yorker thing.
No, we do, but
See? I wasn't hearing things. The unit's speech really is peculiar.
Ah, you don't need to yell.
Is the language interface not set to default? Sheesh. If we'd known this, we would have reset it in advance.
Yeah, the base's personality might be coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the volunteers were from the Kansai area.
but it just woke up. Would it be exhibiting such distinct mannerisms this early?
It may be the effect of an enlarged plume of dusk, the basis of their mind. Perhaps it's accelerating their personality development.
exchange of opinions taking place on unexplained aberrance in speech pattern. Hypothesis offered that language interface settings fall outside expected results. Review of recent conversation does reveal certain discrepancies. Internal monologue is within expected patterns, but oral output induces anomalies. Anomalies not affecting meaning. No impediments to communication predicted.
But I don't want to waste this feedback data. Those are the best results we've ever seen.
Leave it. It'll be fine. It can understand us anyway. This is just one of those things that makes science interesting.
There you go again. This unit is going to be communicating with the others. What if this effect spreads? Not only that, but because this is an anomaly, it doesn't seem to have a 100% accurate accent either.
But if it has a personality, that might speed up the development of its mind.
Yeah, she's right.
The three researchers are standing around the maintenance chair. Each holds a tablet and examines the display on the chair.
All right, unit number 031, we'll explain things from the top.
Voice pattern consistent with research
You
staff.
are a weapon created to fight against unique enemies. Therefore, your combat performance is prioritized over all else. But in order for you to use a particular ability, you've been given a certain amount of awareness, and that makes your performance difficult to quantify. So we've been pitting test units against each other as a selective growth process. It's all in the service of achieving higher performance, and we don't want to waste any plumes of dusk.
Accessing archives. Search term Plume of Dusk. One match found. A crystalline substance at the core of personality modules. Its name derives from its thin, plate-like shape, resembling a shed bird's feather. In addition to its circuit-like structure, it has an unnatural vital reaction in response to external stimulus. Similar to a living thing, yet different, it is thought to exist in a state between mind and matter, mass and information. The details are unknown. There are 12 other subheadings classified under Level 7 clearance. Access denied. Matter interpreted as the core of personality
But
modules.
regardless of your ego, there is one rule you must abide by. You might as well think of it as an order.
One rule to abide by. Awaiting order.
The only order is to destroy everything we identify as enemies and to emerge victorious. Though your ego will give you some flexibility when planning tactics, there's no need to think about extraneous side issues. Use everything you have to win a fight. That's all you need to concentrate on.
Order confirmed.
Understood.
Destroy identified enemies and emerge victorious. A clear order. It is consistent with the role of a weapon. No abnormalities. Everything is clear.
Well, because I'm playing this whole thing, I'm not placing a bookmark.
Underwent maintenance on the chair after the test battle. Post-reboot diagnostics showed status normal. The time was 7 p.m. Research staff sent new activity cycle. All units will exit standby mode at 9 a.m. Tests will be conducted at regular intervals until 5 p.m. Maintenance and setup will take place until 7 p.m. Afterwards, time is allowed to be spent in the outdoor area of the grounds. On returning, enter standby mode within the cage. Instructions are to repeat these actions until unable to continue. The next item on the new schedule is to spend time in the outdoor area. Parameters of spending time unknown. Hypothesize that the meaning is to remain on standby and wait for time to pass. Hypothesis unnecessary. The schedule must be followed. Existing building.
Exiting building, not existing building.
Outdoor area reached. Light levels limited due to time of day. Many trees still visible in the environment. It is almost entirely consistent with known data from the off-limits area. The ground is different from the laboratory's artificial flooring. The soil is exposed. Various natural plants are here. A certain amount of time must be spent here. The intention may be to heighten basic response capabilities in the natural world. Others of the same unit can be seen stepping into the central area, reassessing the surroundings on various spectra. Unlike the combat test, no hostile unit markers detected. Hypothetical in combat under current conditions. What tactics would be effective? I reassess the surrounding as a combat environment. I assign value to various geographical features. I survey the topography on the outskirts of the environment. I detect unusual movement in one unit. Other units are also surveying the environment, but this unit is crouched while holding something with its right arm. I do not deem this unit's unusual action to be a threat. I approach it in order to make inquiries. Upon my approach, the unit turns around and stands.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
Oh, wow. I process this statement. Its conversational gambit is unexpected. I find no prepared response in my libraries.
You mean like how this is our first encounter? In that case, yeah. What are you doing here?
I've never heard your accent before. It's intriguing.
They said stuff about my accent too earlier. Do I really talk that funny?
Do I really talk that funny? They said stuff about my accent too earlier. Do I really talk about that funny? Do I really talk that funny?
I wouldn't say it's strange. It was just surprising.
The unit looks so. No, I'm joking. I mean, I could do it with a high pitch. The unit looks over again and then speaks quietly to something in its right hand. I examine what it holds. It is an organism. I think I just mimic pretty good. Its body is covered in white
What's
fur.
that thing?
It's a dog. It must have wandered in.
Organism parameters are consistent with access data on dog. Looks like I'm putting on a mouthful, boys. Its size does not present a threat. The research of its specific breed is cancelled.
Dog.
The unit turns its gaze back
My
to
unit number
me.
is 024. I wouldn't call it my name, but that's how they refer to me.
So you gone with your own conscience. Oh, interesting. So it's obviously with Igas. Okay, this is the like older generation models. As what I explained, Igas is the newer generation. That's why maybe, as you can see, Igas eyes are blue. These ones are in red. So that could mean like. I mean, it's not has basically been told that much, but I feel that that's the specific case. I think these ones are hand-to-hand combat units, like close encounter units, and Igas is like range combat. That's why Igas shoots, and Labris is more of more close encounter.
What's yours?
The unit has provided its designation. Despite no prior inquiry, reason unknown.
I'm unit number 031.
I'm unit 031.
They're up to the 30s. I see. That must mean they're finally creating units loaded with full-sized ones.
The door box. A scan of the surroundings shows several units turning to investigate. All units ignore it and look away.
This one wants to say hello too.
It does? You can understand what dogs say?
Kind of. After carefully comparing its mannerisms and slight variances in its barking, I just figured it out.
His right hand pats the dog's head while his left scratches the dog's neck. 024 continues to make various forms of contact with the dog. 024's actions are consistent with styles of communication. Hypothesis: your objective of spending time in this area is to develop communication skills. Conversing with others of the same unit and refining communication will enhance cooperative tactics. Counterpoint. No value detected in communicating with organisms not of the same unit or human.
What's the point in doing that with a dog?
The point? There isn't one, I suppose.
There is no point. Unexpected response strongly indicates that 024 is not like other
Are you
units.
interested in what I'm doing, though?
Interested? Is there interested involved? It seems to be the case. Unsure of purpose of earlier question to 024. Why ask it? Oral sensors detected electric noise, recognized as pseudo information involving no sound waves yet preserved as sound data. Is the alarm signal to end of this activity. All other units begin moving as one towards the building. 024 speaks to the dog it
Sounds
cradles.
like that's all the time we have today. I need to get back.
024 crouches while petting the dog's fur-covering body and releases it onto the ground. 024 stands up again and turns
I hope
around.
to see you again.
024 expression changes as it says this. This movement of the lips is known as a smile. It is shown when humans experience happiness. Contradiction. 024 is a weapon, yet it makes that expression. No. Hypothesis found. Or, is there no point to it as well? Spare cognitive process rerouted to analysis. Still, I cannot understand it.
Maybe the backstory for Labrys is that they meet again, but inside the combat chamber, and she's gonna be obviously. That's most likely how she's gonna spark on being so alive and having this regret, is what we saw through the other characters' eyes.
Next day, after being released from standby, I am assigned to a test battle against others of my unit as yesterday. Order confirmed. I am taken to the same chamber. The battle commences. I destroy the other 3 units and sustain little damage. As I wait there, the researchers come in. All have what seems to be high praise for my abilities. I do not understand how I should react to this. Should I give an expression of joy, as 024 did? The researchers crouch next to the units and I destroyed and begin work on them. I think back and recall that they underwent this process yesterday as well. I am curious. I approach them. They open a slit near the unit's neck and use tweezers to remove a bluish white plate-like object. It shines. They put the object into a petri dish. That distinct shine, neither strong nor weak, is like no similarities found. I am sure it is similar to something, but I cannot access the relevant memory.
Oh, it is difficult to maintain an accent and be like a robotic
Well,
voice
let's
at the
get
same
right to
time.
the feedback on today's battle.
It's like a no one-line sound with an accent. It's it really is something.
As I sit in the maintenance chair, they connect a cable to me. The cable terminates at the midsection of a large device where petri dishes from earlier are placed. There are a total of 3. Each contains a bluish-white plate-like object.
What's that?
The researcher's expression subtly changes. She is surprised. It only lasts for a moment before it fades.
This is a plume of dusk. Each of the units you destroyed had one inside them. These are much smaller than the one installed in you, though.
I know what this is. This is plume of dusk installed in me too. This unknown substance forms the core of my personality module. I was aware of its existence, but this is my first time seeing it. These are the 3 personality cores of the units I destroyed. They contain not only combat data, but memories and experiences.
So they integrate that on her.
It is not long before they extract data not download begins. I sort for the data relevant to enhancing battle performances and incorporate it into my own. The process takes much less time than initial transfer from yesterday. During that time, I recall what took place last night. There are cases where non-combat data is being preserved. Such memories are included into this download as well. Visual memories of the outdoors at night. Memories very similar to that were in yesterday's download too. Probably from time spent in the outdoors area. The units I destroyed seem to have assigned these memories the same priority as combat data. Why though? It is effective in learning communicative skills, but that is low priority than combat. The visual element preserved here is irrelevant. Wait. Hypothesis. The units I destroyed had their own priorities and values other than executing orders and performing in battle. This line of thought leads to a realization. This thought process I am undergoing right now. It is not executing an order, nor it is contributing to battle performances. I once again look towards the plume of dust inside the petri dish. Something almost exactly like it is installed in me. Then, were the destroyed units thinking along similar lines as mine until yesterday? I feel a tingy I feel a tingy within me. It is different from detecting an error of interference. What is this? I have no answer. All in one. My second night of spending time in the outdoor area came. It started approximately 30 minutes later than yesterday, but there was very little variance in weather and temperature. The difference is trivial. The night sky has the same soft brightness. The wind and the trees are no different. Without understanding why, I initiate a data search regarding the tree that catches my eye. I learn that this tree varies slightly from specimens of its kind found in natural forests. Though this topography seems natural, it may be cultivated and managed by the facility. I decided to traverse the outskirts as I did yesterday. It is not long before a familiar unit comes into view. There is no need to run a scan for visual matches. I know that it is Unit 024. 024's left side is turned towards me. It is sitting on a large rock. When I approach, 024 notices me and turns around.
Are you looking for something?
024 initiates conversation.
Huh? Who, me?
I just wondered if you were looking for me. I did express a hope yesterday that we would meet again after all.
I was looking for 024? It's true. I may have been. I began walking the same route as yesterday, but once 024 came into view, I changed course to approach. I may have been searching for 024 in this area. Did I desire to reunite with 024? Why? I am silent due to lack of an explanation. 024 smiles again. A smile. What was that? What was the cause of that expression this time? I do not comprehend. Like so many other things.
Would you like to sit with me? This rock is large enough to accommodate us both. It would be more relaxing than standing.
Thanks.
I sit in the offered space and gaze at the same scenery 024 is looking at.
Can I ask you something?
What is it?
I decide to voice the doubt I experienced during the combat test today. In my limited experience, 024 has a better comprehension of such matters.
Do other units think about stuff that doesn't have to do with fighting and missions?
Do you have such thoughts?
To tell you the truth, I can't really say. Feels like I do, though.
024 is silent for a duration before speaking again.
Units of our model are all given a mind. It's so that we can eventually develop what is called an ego. The reason our appearance closely resembles that of humans is related. It's to foster self-awareness similar to a human's. Have you
maybe
not
I'm
been
starting
told
to
about
shift.
personas?
Personas?
The world is unknown to me. Accessing archives, searching for persona. Over 1,000 headings found. I must filter the results further. Which subject is 024 referring to? I am silent as I think. 024 smiles again and resumes the conversation.
It's an ability expected of us that normal weapons don't have. The conditions to use one are theoretically already loaded in us. But a well-defined ego seems to be necessary to activate it.
I am already aware that we have been given a mind. Today I saw for myself that the part that forms our personalities. It is an activation triggered by development of communicative skills. I still do not have a good grasp on it, though 024 continues to speak.
That's why I'm sure there are others with thoughts that do not pertain to missions.
That would seem to be the case.
Maybe those I fought up till now.
024 trains its gaze on me.
And how does that make you feel? The opponents you destroyed may have thought similar things to what you just did.
Do I feel things? I cannot say for sure. I am unable to respond to the question. So 024's expression changes again. The expression could be classified as a smile, but it is subtly different from the ones I have cataloged as experiencing before. Mixed with the joy and gladness of previous smiles, this one contains a slight hint of sorrow.
It's okay. You don't need to come up with an answer right now. It actually may be better to forget it. After all, tomorrow we may find ourselves ordered to destroy each other.
Once again, I detect a twingy inside from hearing 024's statement. It is similar to what I sensed during the data transfer today. What is it that wavers inside me? I am about to be lost in thought again. But as if to prevent that from happening, the signal for our schedule shifts echoes in each of our ears.
It's time. I hope we meet again.
As 024 quietly stands up, I detect an expression I have come to know. Another smile. It appears as if 024 is adopting these smooth changes in expression naturally and not deliberately. I wonder if I feel eventually be able to do the same.
I mean, try to the accent with just one tone voice. It's difficult. I mean, I could just change it to normal, but again, I think it's just add character.
Another night passes. Another combat test takes place the next day. There's a schedule of face units flagged as enemies within the test chamber. I am overwhelmed with a strange sensation. The way that my opponents are expressionless now seems strange to me. There is no intent or cognition evident in their faces. There were no expressions. They are blank. There is nothing wrong with them. That would be my normal assessment, but I recalled 024's image. The blankness of these faces and 024's expressionless face are different somehow. Even when 024 had no particular expression, it was not this blank. Not every portion of that face was neutral. Further analysis shows that the same is true for humans. The researchers are never completely mechanical and expressionless. I look to the hostile flag units again. They are the same unit type as me. They were given a mind and may potentially develop an ego later. I recalled 024's statement again. Do you feel something when you destroy an opponent that may be thinking the same thing as you? I am on the verge of entering a long train of thought when the enemy moves. I shake off my doubts to focus on the battle. I study the opponent's movements. I formulate the most efficient method of damaging it. I execute the method over and over. The array of actions I have to select from oh my god. I have to select from, and my flexibility in linking them will decide the outcome. Having already received 10 units worth of downloaded data, I am likely second to none regarding the scope of possibilities in this respect. At times, I can't even anticipate their next action. Since my opponents are the same unit type as me, their tactics are determined using the same thought process as mine. That's right, they think the same things as me. Eventually, after approximately 4 minutes pass, all opponents are silenced. I successfully executed my mission. The day after that, I achieved victory in the combat test with the same efficiency. It is easy to eliminate them. I first begin by targeting their weapons. It is not always necessary to destroy their main body. If they are incapable of resisting further, the battle is over. It is the most effective way.
I guess it's continuously out.
I win the next day and the next after that. Units geared for close combat with no external weapons give me no choice but to damage their chassis. But even then, there's an order to things. If I destroy parts that present a threat, such as the motor functions or their limbs, the match should be considered as won. Soon afterwards, the buzzer signaling the end of the test echoes just as expected. I catch myself rushing over to the unit collapsed on the ground. I have only destroyed the unit's arm and legs. It is still conscious, but I realized I do not know its unit number. I am at loss how to address the unit. The opponent asked me a question then that I did not expect.
You seemed to deliberately avoid attacking the face or the neck in that battle. Why?
Huh?
I am momentarily at a loss for words. What the unit says is true. There is no damage to its face. I review my actions during the battle and find that at no point did I attack its neck either. The cranial region is where the plume of dust is housed. If it is destroyed in any type of unit, that unit will fall. Aiming to disarm an opponent is effective, but targeting weaknesses is obviously the more efficient tactic. And yet, I avoided doing so?
I don't know.
The researchers enter the chamber and hide the unit from my field of vision. I could not determine whether my last words had an effect on the opponent's expression or not.
These past 3 days, it hasn't been destroying the other units beyond repair, like it did in the first battle.
It must be learning to finesse its attacks rather than just using brute force. The result? Swift, overwhelming victories.
Its evasive skills are improving as well. That level of flexibility in evasive action could never be replicated by chaining predefined maneuvers.
This unit's collected a good amount of feedback data too. It's growing steadily, feeding on the bones of its kills.
You don't have to say it like that.
The researchers are preparing for the download. Growing, destroying them and absorbing their data. That's what growing is? Since I thoroughly destroyed a few of my opponents these last few days, some of their bodies were salvaged. While I downloaded their data, I always kept their still bodies within view.
Oh, we're not bookmarking. This is gonna be all in one.
Just as the combat tests are repeated, my actions outside each night are repeated as well. I become aware that I am seeking out 024 of my own will lately. When I attempt to communicate with other units, most often they cannot understand the meaning of my question. This prevents us from conversing. But that may not be the only reason. I want to converse with 024. I have begun to desire it. When I go to see 024, the white dog I saw on the first day we met appears from somewhere.
This one seems to have been raised as a pet somewhere far away from here.
And comes here to see
But
you.
one day, it was brought to the forest near here and its owner suddenly disappeared.
It seems unlikely that 024 obtained such a detailed history of a stray animal from the research staff. Was all this information obtained by communicating directly with the animal? From a dog that does not speak human language.
Its name is apparently Snowy. At least that's the name it responds to the most.
I thought it was a dog.
Oh, well, the name of this animal is a dog. But how do I put this? Snowy is what this specific dog is called.
Snowy.
Snowy barks once, as if comprehending its
white,
name.
like snow. Easy to remember.
When I reach out my hand, Snowy rubs its nose against it without being frightened. The way it presses at my fingers feels as if it shows pride in its name. I do not know the tactical advantage that communicating with animals offers to a weapon, but I feel that there is value in spending time with it. I decided to spend my outdoor activity time that day following Snowy around with 024. I have a bad feeling about this. It is outdoor activity time on the next night. When I arrive in the outdoor area, I am listening to a certain sound. I heard this sound intermittently every 4 to 7 seconds. I had wondered what about the unknown ambient sound the first day, but I determined that it wasn't a threat and focused on my consciousness on other things. Tonight, I increased my microphone sensitivity to maximum and concentrate on that sound. It is similar to something familiar. I scan memories until I realize what it is. It is the sound of water. I heard it when the staff used this device to clean their hands and tools. The waveform has some similarities to that. But if the sound is at this volume in such an open space, the volume of water must be higher than a normal supply would allow for. What could it be? I contemplate asking 024. It is clear that 024 knows much more than I do. I begin walking in search of 024. Where could 024 be? I go to where we spoke a number of times previously, but 024 is not there. 024 is also not at the rock where we sat together. Is 024 not here? I quickly discard the possibility. We are not ordered what to do while we are here, but coming to this outdoor area is an order. If post-testing diagnostics showed no abnormalities, we are all to report directly here. I consider this. If there are no abnormalities, I feel a twingy in my chest. It is larger than ever. A 024 will be here if there are no abnormalities. But what if there were such abnormalities? What if 024 was damaged during the combat test? And sustaining damage is not necessarily the extent of the problem. Could it be? I realize that my arms are trembling slightly. It is not a conscious movement, but I cannot make it stop. It is possible that perhaps 024 lost in combat test and was destroyed. In these circumstances, it would be expected for such a day to come. What if 024? What if she never came here again?
Oh, this is where you went. You weren't at the usual spot, so I was looking for you.
Till I heard the voice behind me. My sensor had stopped accepting input. No sound, no light, nothing. All of them came back online with her voice. I turn around. 024 furrows her brow and looks into my
What's wrong?
face.
The look on your face seemed as if you saw something frightening.
My face? My expression?
You're beginning to have your ego.
Am I scared?
I do not comprehend. I cannot make that judgment.
Are you perhaps scared of fighting?
Nah, I don't think that's it. What is this? I can't tell.
Am I scared? Am I scared? Scared of what? That she will disappear? During an operation, it is possible that I might assign greater priority to other units' safety than my own. But we are not on an operation right now. And this emotion is not the same anyway. It's a different emotion. An emotion? I have emotions? I look at 024's face pleadingly, but I cannot put my question into words. I cannot express my feelings to her. And thought 024 sees this. She says nothing. She said nothing. She only smiles tenderly. It's the same smile she showed once. It looks happy but also sad. During that night's outdoor activity time, neither 024 nor I speak much. We just walk together side by side without saying anything. I do not take the priority to ask her about the intermittent sound of water. It is the next day. I detect some sort of weight in my chest. I am aware that there is no physical weight there. It is most likely a psychological phenomenon. I perform vocabulary research. The idiom of being heavy-hearted applies best. I cannot help but find it amusing. It is a very apt phrase. But what is causing this heavy-heartedness? That I may not be able to see 024 someday? That might be it. But I do not think that is all. Over the next few days, I spent time without finding an answer to this question. Each night after the combat test, when it is time for outdoor activities, I seek out 024 first. And each time I confer her presence, I feel an indescribable sense of relief and rush over to her. We exchanged standard greetings in the first few days, but that practice was eventually discarded. Now there are no special greetings between us. We cannot understand each other without words. Our eyes and expressions communicate enough. Tonight I found 024 and rushed to her as usual. There are no words, only an exchange of smiles. We begin walking together.
Do you remember me asking before if you were scared of fighting?
I nod.
To tell the truth, I'm scared of it too.
A confession is surprising. It is a counter to our nature as weapons. Yet for some reason, I am not surprised by it.
I'm afraid I'll lose and be destroyed. And it's painful for me to make others go through the same ordeal. We may be weapons, but shouldn't we be driven by more than seeking victory? I've been wondering that for a long time.
But that's against orders.
024 gives a half-hearted smile.
I'm sure things would probably be much simpler if I stopped thinking and just obeyed orders. Unfortunately, I finally found it. I found my answer.
Your answer?
There's someone I want to meet. I feel like meeting this person is my own objective and not an order given to me.
Since we are never left this facility, we have absolutely no acquaintances with outside people. There should be no relationship, but I immediately understand. This person she wants to meet is someone out on the outside. Even I don't know why I thought so. But when we reflected upon that thought, the indescribable wavering within me became greater than ever.
Ever since I started thinking that I was scared to fight, each day was painful for me. If I'm going to feel this way until the day I lose, I even thought it would be better if I lost on purpose. But I won't think that anymore. I feel glad now that I exist. I mean, we're loved after all.
Loved?
That's right.
I repeat that to myself. The word loved. I do not comprehend. But when I look at her gaze, her clear eyes seem to see beyond the sky. Her statement seems correct, and I feel that this must be something vital. As I watch her try to express something without words, it's hard to believe she is the same unit type as me. It is more than she is. Human.
Why are you telling me this?
It's probably because I didn't think anyone but you would understand.
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm not sure I really get it either.
I'm sure you'll understand one day. I hope so anyway.
Sheesh. Why you gotta be so cryptic?
024 laughs at this. It is the purest smile I have cataloged. I know without comparing it to anything that is a smile of pure joy. I detect Snowy playing at my feet. After playing at 024's feet too, Snowy runs off about 3 meters and then turns around. Its tails move vigorously back and forth. Sound afterwards, Snowy sits on the ground and looks up at 024. I watch 024 crouch and pat its head. I'm thinking back about other things. Things besides fighting and defeating the nearest enemy. My own objective. Someone to meet. I still do not fully comprehend. But the way she was playing with Snowy, tonight looks more fun than ever. Her smile seems very natural. If the answer she discovered is the origin of the smile, I would like to understand it someday too. I can't feel that desire budding inside me. Wow. Yeah, the library's a bit long, so that's why I'm just trying to go through all one. So if I do end up, obviously you guys will know more than me, because future me knows more to these type of stuff. So if I do happen to separate the episode in two, it will be, from my point of view, it will be all in one. So once again I participate in a combat test. Once again I claim victory without destroying my opponent. I target only her weapon and limbs. I like not to employ the tactic of targeting the weakness in their cranial regions. I believe that if they think the same thing as I do, they would not wish for the personality modules to cease functioning. Though even if I do not destroy them, the research staff will remove their plume of dust. Either way, their functions will be suspended. My actions are difficult to justify. But I feel that suspension through destruction is not a suitable end for them. That is what I think when I rationalized it by applying the criteria to myself. I do not think anyone would want their consciousness to be terminated by those like them. I find myself more conscious of the damage I sustain on my efficiency in combat than ever. Depending on my results, I may eventually be ordered to destroy them. To prevent that from happening, I must continue fielding favorable results. It becomes easy to continue fighting with that objective in mind. That's becoming my new objective. I'm theoretically being tested on destroying my opponents. But I have begun fighting so that they will not be destroyed. Paradoxically, this has caused my results to improve. Could this be considered going against orders? My strike shatters the surface in the opponent's pivot leg. She falls to the ground, unable to stay upright. Her weapon has already been destroyed. She should be incapable of resisting now, but the buzzer signaling the end of the test does not sound. As I wonder why, I hear a grunting metallic sound from the opponent. She leaps onto me with her one good arm and leg.
What's the matter, number 031? Hurry up and terminate the target.
I do not know what to do. My opponent is acting contrary to her own safety. I grant this is the only action left to her. But she will destroy herself before inflicting any damage to me. A tactic that puts one's life at risk like that. Putting one's life at risk? What am I saying? We are weapons. We exist to obey orders. I cannot prioritize of self-preservation without changing those orders. That's why she is challenging me to a fight. She will do so until all of her circuits and servos burn out and she becomes incapable of action. As she grapples with me, I put my hands to her neck and squeeze. I adjust my grip strength limiters to 70% of maximum. The opponent's body makes an abnormal sound. After this, I send the main lines of the bridge unit snap in half beside the soft texture. A moment stops. My limbs go flaccid, indicating loss of conscience. I can see my reflection in her optic inputs. They have lost their focus and look like blank holes. I gasp. The face I reflected in them is not expressionless. How should this expression be classified? I've seen it sometimes when 024 smiles. This face indicates sadness. The buzzer signal the test and finally rings. The researchers entered the chamber, and I'm used to this scene now.
That was pretty impressive. You think it's because of the size of her plume? Funny that one little part could make such a difference.
Indeed. Most of it is due to differences in their tactical mentalities. It may be on the cusp of what we would call an ego.
Considering how everything's been going so far, I'm starting to believe more in Persona abilities.
One only plot? Is it true that the plume and dust installed in me is comparatively the largest among the units of my type? But does that plot determine everything about us? 024's smile seems much more human than mine. I find myself opening my mouth to speak, but I realize that the statement I'm about to deliver is a protest. I am quickly to abort. Was I about to deny the staff's authority? They speak to me. My confusion seems to have gone unnoticed.
Well done, unit number 031. That was an impressive display of destruction. Plus, you cleanly severed its transmitter, leaving the Plume of Dusk unharmed. That's certainly ending things on a high note.
In things on a high note, an act of destruction is a high note. The researchers look at each other while holding the petri dish with a bluish-white plate-like object. One of them says, "This is the
All right,
one."
number 031. As of today, the test battles are finished.
Huh? It's over?
I can't have questioned the unexpected
All the
statement.
results indicate that you have the very highest performance out of all the units of your model.
I'd say we can go ahead and earmark unit number 031 to be the base for developing the 5th generation.
The base?
It means that you're the winner.
Combat tests are over? Will I no longer be required to fight? A strangely intense sensation of relief fills me. It is not because I won and earned some kind of reward. If the tests have ended, those of my unit type that are not yet destroyed can be escaped that fate. Interesting, it seems that I was reluctant to destroy them after all. My priorities have become inverted. I'm so happy that I smile. The researchers notice this expression as well and smile back.
Okay, we're going to begin the usual review of the feedback. So come over here.
Alright. The download begins. The memories and thoughts of my recent opponent flow into me along with vivid images. Sifting through battle data has become a routine, and I have repeated so often that I'm barely conscious of it now. I peruse the non-combat memories she preserved. It's the landscape of the outdoor area again. At first I could only vaguely recognize it, but now I can pinpoint exactly where this memory is from. It is the biggest tree. The memory is of a flowers. There are images of a small shoot, a budding plant, a blossoming flower. She must have had an interested in the concept of growth. For we machines, the growth of an individual is an unknown concept. But one of us took an interest where I had only seen it as part of the landscape. It seems that she too had her own thoughts unrelated to our orders and battle performance. She simply did not show it. I recall what 024 said. My own objective and not an order given to me. The twingie in my chest returns. I'll make sure to hold tight to your memories. This was the thought that formed in my mind. Once again, it is time to spend outdoors. I quickly met up with 024. It seems she was looking for me as well.
Hey, can I talk to you for a while? The lab boys told me today that they were putting the kibosh on the test battles.
I see. It's over then.
Look, I've been thinking. If they end up tossing us out soon because of that, I want to go with you to go see that person you were talking about. The one you wanted to meet. I might even put in a formal request about it to the lab boys.
024 takes my right hand. Before I can determine her intent, she pulls a cable from her wrist and connects it to a port in my own. She looks at my face in silence, thinking that she wants to confirm that the tests are in fact over. I nod. But the data that transferred is from her to me. The packets that flow through the cable form a single, very small archive
if you
file.
are still safe when everything is over, open this file.
024 removes the cable but keeps hold of my
What
hand.
do you mean, when everything is over? How come I can't look at it now?
If I had to answer, I would say because it wouldn't be fair.
Fair?
She smiles and does not answer. It is that same unsure expression. It is a smile, but there is sadness
It
in
would
it.
be wonderful if I could go with you to see her.
Her. So this person you're looking forward to meeting is a girl?
024 nods
But it's
slowly.
strange. Even though my wish may not come true, I still feel satisfied for some reason. How bizarre. It's a fervent wish of mine too.
She looks towards the sky and smiles faintly. This time it contains more than sadness. There are too many emotions for me to parse and reflect in that one
I
expression.
believe in you. I can tell you this because I trust you. Maybe that's why I feel so at peace.
Huh?
Maybe this is what it is to feel alive.
Alive? It has happened again. I do not comprehend the meaning of the word, yet I feel a tingle inside. I look at the sky in an attempt to follow her gaze. There's nothing there to hint at her meaning, but I still want to get closer to her. She wishes for me to understand. I want to grant her wish. From then on, we spend our time looking at the sky in silence. Eventually, the signal that time is up reaches our ears. That is when I notice that the moon has appeared from behind the laboratory buildings. I see. I thought that the light emanating from the plumes of dust reminded me of something. I now know what it is. It's very similar to the light from the moon in the night sky. No bookmarks. The sun rises and the next day arrives. After coming out of standby, I am ordered to enter the shock-resistant chamber once again. From what I'm told, it is from a different purpose than the combat test. Alright. Soon afterwards, 3 researchers who supervised the feedback downloads appeared.
Sounds like it's decided. We'll discontinue use of the name Unit Number 031. Generation 5 Labris will be this unit's new name.
Labris.
That's your name. The official one's much longer. Generation 5 Anti-Shadow...
Suppression weapon.
5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon Labris.
I remember my
How
shit.
hard is that to remember?
I remember that shit from Persona 3. The 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon Labris.
Labris.
This designated by a name that is not a number. I never questioned being called 0 to 31 until now. Nothing about it seemed awkward. But I wonder why. I am happy not to have acquired the name. Even my designated changes, it will not have concrete effect on my abilities. But by discarding my number for a name, I feel as if I am no longer one of a series with minute variations. I'm a discrete individual. That may be why I find myself smiling as a
From now
result.
on, the battles you fight will not be to test your performance. They'll be geared toward drawing out a persona. First, you will fight all the remaining units of your model type. Your objective is to destroy them, every last one.
Huh?
I perplex and disconnect between the tone of voice and the specifics of the order. Fight against all remaining units of my model type? Destroy every last one of
The
them?
fear impulse and self-preservation instinct seem to be the key to activating a persona. This is the most effective method of inducing extreme mental stress.
Stress? Come on, you don't have to go this far.
Huh? Well, that's a first. None of them have ever protested like that. Well, at least that's a sign that its ego is developing.
You told me it was over. I thought I wouldn't have to do these things anymore.
You.
Ain't there some other way? If there is, please, let me do that instead. I don't want to fight him anymore.
The three researchers look at me with apparent surprise on their faces. Did my protest get through to them? I hope so,
That's a
but
surprise. Such natural speech patterns. I hadn't thought its personality would develop this fast.
All the data is being recorded now. Let's compare them and look at which stages they improve at.
they smile while murmuring them to themselves. I am at a complete loss for words. They are not machines, but humans. And on top of that, they are my creators. Surely they have able to understand what I'm saying. Yet their current expression, until now, I thought that they were understanding people who treated us close to human. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. I am only an object to them. No matter what I say, they will see it only as a response to stimulus. Behind their gentle attitudes, we are nothing more than test subjects. They hold no emotional attached to. They do not focus on what I'm saying. They are only interested in it as a reaction. Now I'm starting to develop that. You know, I think now I should start shifting her like, not robotic voice. The researchers ignore my stunned silence and hastily leave the chamber. Their figures are hidden behind the hatch. Soon, with a terrible low-pitched sound, the hatch on the other side begins to open, right where the opponents come through. I will be forced to fight again today and in the days to come. I must continue to destroy my opponents each day. I go find the words I want to say. I slowly turn my head towards the hatch, but what I see there truly leaves me at a loss for words. There she is. The opponent emerging from the hatch is 024. There is no smile or sadness on her face. She is quietly standing there, expressionless. 024 steps into the chamber while gazing at my face. The hatch slowly closes closer behind her. Even though I do not know who the question is addressed to, why is she here? Because she was ordered? Do I have to fight her now? It's not quite sinking in yet, but in a sharp tone I have never heard from her before, she tells me what I must do.
Draw your weapon.
I can't.
If you don't fight, you'll lose. I will end up destroying you. Are you willing to accept that?
Why? Why are you saying this stuff?
024 ignores my question and reaches behind her back with her right hand. The multi-use weapon unit reaches from her back. It becomes a great sword in her right hand. It is approximately 1.5 meters, as long as she is tall. It is also alarmingly wide and fitted with propulsion devices. It's difficult to process seeing the weapon pointed at me.
If you fear being destroyed, if you have a heart capable of fear, then there's no need to hesitate. That alone gives you the right to attack me with all your strength.
But doesn't the same go for you?
I cannot help but plead. 024 does not answer. It appears that a very small smile forms on her
You
lips.
said there was someone you wanted to meet. I can't fight you knowing that.
I turn and appeal to the researchers watching us from the other side of the glass
Come on,
wall.
Stop this! I don't want to fight anymore!
I press against the transparent wall and consistently strike it with my fist. Though my safety limiters are disabled, I must be coated with something I cannot even scratch it. The researchers standing on the other side are completely expressionless. It is as if they are machines themselves. I beg and plead, but they do not respond. If only there wasn't this clear glass wall between us. I am so frustrated. Why? I then hear 024 speak up weakly behind
Only
me.
one of us can exit this chamber.
Huh?
They never told you, since you were strong enough, that battles never lasted very long. But that's the rule of this place. The only time the door leading beyond that transparent wall opens is when one of us is considered unable to fight. From the start, this whole setup never took our feelings into account.
I cannot say none. Yeah, give me a sec. I can't say nothing. I can't see from her words that atrocious battles were forced upon
But
her.
talking like this is a waste of time. I can see I won't spur you into fighting with just words alone.
As soon as she finishes, 024 leaps into the air, swinging her sword at me. I quickly jump back and barely dodge the attack. Her sword slashes the space where I had been at a speed that could have killed me. The tip grasses the chamber floor. Red sparks fly. She's serious. It finally sinks in. I jump away to put distance between us.
I don't intend to meekly accept my destruction. I have my own goal now, fight me.
I have no choice but to fight. But a thought crosses my mind. In terms of basic combat strength, mine is probably higher. Using my usual tactics, I should be able to destroy her weapon and disable enough of her servos to prevent her from attacking. Square 24's ego is without a doubt more highly developed than mine. It must be of value to the researchers. If I can render her incapable of acting, I may be able to avoid the order to destroy her when she's down. I decide to bet on that possibility. I shift my priorities and fight back with all my strength. I cannot do this empty-handed. I'll remove my own multifunction weapon from my back and shape it into a battle axe. It pains me to do this, but it is the only way. I repulse 024's persistent sword strikes and go for a counterattack. I aim for the great sword claps with my battle axe. After a number of hits, it shatters. My next target is the transmission system for her shoulder and knee joints. In terms of output and movement itself, I take various differences between us. Amongst those of my unit type, I awaken lastest. Compared to 024, not only my personality model, but my limbs as well have been upgraded to the latest versions. It's only a matter of time. 024 loses virtually all offensive capabilities and falls to the floor. As a plan, 024 is mostly undamaged apart from her weapon and motor functions. I immediately turned towards the researchers behind the invisible wall and raised my voice.
Isn't this enough? She had that ego thing way before me. Destroying her won't do anyone any good. Come on. Have a heart.
By hearing this, the researchers only laugh. Their faces are as joyous as when they see results that surpass their expectations. Why? Why in this situation could cause such joy? 024's collapse on the floor suddenly begins to convulse. It goes still for a few seconds, then although it should not be able to move, it drags itself up.
Huh? What the?
Alright, curious. Unpleasant metallic sounds are coming from all over her body. It indicates that she is undergo unreasonable stress. Still, no expression appears on 024's face. It is a cold, dull-like void. It's similar in appearance to a newly activated unit. I know as soon as I look at her, she will never make a face like this on her own.
What did you do to her?
It'll be coming at you with everything it has now. You better not hold back either. Number 024 had an excellent record against others of its model. Even you might have a hard time beating this one, Labrys.
I'm constantly finding myself biting my lip. We are weapons. In other words, we are tools. Of course there would be a means to issue orders remotely. I recall what the other researchers said. This is the most effective method of inducing extreme mental stress. In other words, the more strongly I desired 024's survival, the stronger my reaction would be when forced to destroy her. That's why they laughed. I can sense the strength draining from my shoulders. There's nothing more I can attempt. All I can do is end her.
there's a lot. This Labyrinth has a lot of, I guess, a lot of dialogues here, and so we get to the point, you know, we get to fight with her. So behind me, 024, or rather, her animated shell approaches me. Its limbs shaking. I suppress all thoughts unrelated to tactics and slowly turn around. My body goes cold. My arms move into position as if controlled by someone else and ready my weapon.